Hello there, and welcome to Weird Music on the Glumberger channel. So today is the special 1 year Q&A special episode that's being released on, the exact 1 year anniversary of the Weird Music series. This is just a weird little unscripted video I wanted to do just to celebrate the fact that we've been doing this for an entire year, that's an episode every single week, barring 1 week when I was really busy and didn't have time to do one, but let's not talk about that. But yeah, I asked a bunch of you for, if you had any questions for me, Glumberger, the presenter of the show, stuff to answer in this episode. And yeah, a whole bunch of you asked a bunch of, brilliant and weird things. So we're just going to go through every single one of them, okay? Right then. Our first question comes from Max Weathersfield, who asks, what was your first instrument? So Max, my first instrument, I'm pretty sure my first ever instrument was the recorder. This was back in primary school, back in the late 90s it would have been, and I'll be honest, I despise the recorder. I hated it, I did not like learning it, I don't even know why I got into a situation where I was learning this instrument, but yeah, I remember the only thing I could ever play on it was hot cross buns, and I wasn't even taught it. I just figured it out by just going whoop 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 whoop, and that was it. But yep, that was the very first instrument I ever put my hands on, and yeah, can't stand it, despise it. Oh goodness. Yep. So our next question comes from Cat Horse, who asks, what is the distance between the nearest fish and chip shop to the farthest lake in Oregon in kilometers? And so, Cat Horse, the answer to your question is apparently 8,314.401462 kilometers. And that's as much as I know. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure actually I didn't pick the nearest chip shop to me. I just picked my favorite one because I don't like the nearest one. It's not a good one. So I actually picked the best one. So, if you want to start walking 8,314 kilometers from your furthest lake to all the way over to our nearest fish and chip shop, then at least you'll be getting to the best one that we have in my little hometown, okay? Oh, goodness. Our next question comes from Jose Orites 2389, who asks, out of all the weird odd music albums this channel has covered, which is your favorite and why? Also, happy early birthday. Yep, so I'll mention actually, I didn't think I'd be able to get this video done by today, actually. I'm literally doing this right now on the very anniversary of this series, but I was going to do it for the birthday, but that's ages away. I figured, let's just get on with it now. My favorite things though. So generally speaking, I would actually say that I only cover stuff that I really enjoy anyway, that I find really interesting and really like on some level. So I genuinely enjoy it all and stuff on some level. But my absolute favorites, there's definitely a bunch of them. I would say the albums that have stood sort of the test of time with me, over the years that I've actually talked about on the show would without a doubt be Fixed Context by La Bradford and We Will Always Be by Windy and Carl. As well as the likes of A Ravishment and Mirror by Pink Courtesy Phone. That's another one of my top favourites. Jubilee by Robert Takahashi Crouch is it's one that I absolutely adore. Man, that album just is so beautiful to me. But yeah, there's generally so many things though. It's kind of hard to answer that one, I think, but generally everything in a weird way, right? Generally everything. Moving on though. Robert Lugos asks, what album should Garrett cover on Cactus Malpractice? And so, Glumberger is a huge supporter of the Worst Album Ever Made series by Cactus Malpractice and the whole Cactus Malpractice channel in general. And I'll say here, I've actually already suggested an album to Garrett which he covered on the Worst Album Ever Made. And that was the video on The Portsmouth Symphonia Plays the Popular Classics, which is, without a doubt, one of the most hilarious albums I've ever listened to. I think it is hysterical, and the video he made on it really makes me laugh every single time. It just tickles my funny bone every time. As for albums that I think he should cover, The first album I ever suggested to him, I think it got buried or... No, fairly, it probably got ignored actually because you shouldn't make an album. I mean, I did a review on this album, but that an album I think you should cover is probably South Winds by Christophe Mignon, which is an album sourced from Flatulence. Like, it's just funny, right? But it's also a very interesting album, to be fair. It's a little micro sound journey of just like what is happening, why is this happening kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, I don't know if he ever will cover that, but maybe he will. Another album I think he should cover. I think he should cover something on Steep Gloss, maybe something like Garbage Pail Kids, which I might do a video on, but I would love to see what he makes of that weird esoteric record label. Right then, Math Binks 3566 asks, have you ever heard Ausver or Haxencloak? If not, give them a listen, and happy early birthday. Well, thank you, Matt Binks, for that. And have I heard Ausver or Haxencloak? I'm afraid not. I haven't listened to them yet, but I'll get around to it, right? I'll have a listen, see what I think, right? Renato Francisco asks a mandatory question. Have I ever listened to any albums from their country of Brazil, they've asked. Also, do I like beef stroganoff? So, answer the first question. I'm afraid not, Renato. I generally try to listen to all sorts of things, but there is, an incredible vast number of countries out there that I probably haven't listened to anything of. But my follow-up question to you would be, what album should I listen to from your country? Because I would love to start discovering stuff then. I genuinely always like listening to more things, and listening to music from other countries I would be genuinely interested to. I'd love, just tell me about it. Tell me what I should listen to, right? Also, do I like beef stroganoff? I haven't had beef stroganoff. I don't really know what it is. Sounds like a beef stew type thing. I do like beef. I think beef is amazing. I think it's great. So maybe I would like beef stroganoff. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find out, right? So Iljif, I don't know how you say this one. They ask, roughly what percentage of my socks have more than one hole? So I think it was about a month or so ago, I actually did a clear out of my socks. I got rid of all the socks that had holes in them because, useless, I don't need them anymore, right? And so the percentage of socks that have a hole in it, I want to say like maybe 5% of them by now, right? Maybe there's a couple of that escape the cracks are hiding right underneath the depths of my drawers, but yeah, maybe about that, I don't know, perhaps. So my wonderful partner Jenna Galaxy asks, what is a talent nobody knows you have? So when she asked this, I was like, Jen, this is a really difficult question to answer. Like, to me, it's like the typical interview question where it's like, you're interviewing for a job and it's like, oh, tell us about yourself. What's the best thing about you? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how to quantify these things. And so when I asked her, I said, like, what do you think is a talent nobody knows I have? And when she says nobody, she means you, the subscribers, the viewers of this channel, by the way. So no, there's stuff I can answer. And apparently one I should answer is acting. I used to do acting like, 10 years ago or so at our local theatre, that we have. We do farces and plays and stuff. And, it was a great time in my life, we had great fun doing it all. But, that was a long time ago and I don't really do much of it anymore apart from, I guess this is a performance, right, on weird music maybe. I don't know, maybe. X-Benchy asks, what is the colour of my toothbrush? So I have two toothbrushes, one at home, which is my electric toothbrush that is blue and white, boring, and then my travel toothbrush, which is a nice pink one that I've got here for you. Yeah, I guess that answers your question, right? Let's see then. Stop asks, have you ever thought about doing a series where you talk about weird music? And this is a very interesting question. Like, this really got me thinking about how much I love weird music, how I have enjoyed just listening to the weird outsider art for as long as I can remember. Like I'll be honest, I think the genesis of all this was when I first discovered Constellation Records. Just to quickly go into it, started listening to Godspeed You Black Emperor, which is amazing stuff. Discovered Constellation Records, discovered Fly Pan Am, who's a really great experimental band. But then I discovered the solo projects they do, and their side projects and everything. And it led me to like stuff like Et Sans, it led me to Few Therese, it led me to Alienate Records, it led me to Squintfucker, which is the Christophe Mignon record label that he runs with Alexander St. Onge. And this is where like weird music, like for me, like in terms of listening to it, came from and stuff. And this is why I like really strange esoteric stuff, you know. And so yeah, doing a series where I talk about it, you know, I've always wanted to talk about this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a good idea, Stop. I will think about doing a series where I talk about weird music then, okay? Let's see though, what haven't I answered yet? Zali asks 2 questions here. What types of non-weird music do I enjoy? Bands, albums, and songs? And so, to genuinely answer this question, I feel like everything is weird on some level or in some context. Maybe it's a cop-out, I don't know, but I genuinely have this sort of existential relationship with music, and I find the sheer notion of expression just weird in itself, if that makes sense. That being said, I like all sorts of things, and I've taken a little video of the normal side of my CD collection. And so, I've got a whole bunch of Radiohead stuff there. REM are one of my top favourite bands. They're probably a bit more on the normal side. Low went very weird in places, but have always been one of my top favourites as well. Death Cab for Cutie I really enjoy for some reason. And then like the more classic stuff, there's some Beatles albums. You've got Pink Floyd in there. David Bowie, I adore David Bowie's stuff. Some of it's weird, some of it's normal. Like, I don't know, to be fair. Like, I genuinely like all sorts of different things here and there, you know. Zali also asks a follow-up question, saying, I have a bit of spare time. Can you suggest an enjoyable computer game? Nothing too difficult, something nice and relaxing. I enjoy buying and selling things, and my favourite food is corn. Well, it's funny you mentioned that you enjoy buying and selling things and your favourite food is corn, Zali, because my partner Jenny Galaxy made her own video game over the course of around 2 years, I want to say, literally from scratch, where it's inspired from just the chicken coop in Stardew Valley. It's a chicken management game where you buy and sell chickens and their eggs, and you feed them corn and other deliciousness, and just get some cool looking chickens. So it's definitely not too difficult. It's a really fun, relaxed game. And actually, I'll be honest as well, my very first video on this channel was the very first speedrun of this game that clocked in at over 10 minutes and has since been reduced down to about 3 minutes, I think, by some people. They discovered the exploits that I was too lazy to do. Like, I just wanted to start this channel off with something fun, and like, this was a fun video to make, to be fair. Like, this was many years ago though. Aside from that though, genuinely one of my favourite relaxing nice video games is Stardew Valley. Like, without a doubt, I adore playing this game. I just find the pacing of it, like the fact you go at your own pace as well, you do exactly what you want and stuff. This is the game I would definitely recommend as well, actually. Like, it's so peaceful to play, it's so good. I mean, maybe you've already played it though, I don't know. But yeah, you can grow corn in it, that's the main thing as well. Right then, just to quickly interject with a very last minute question as well, from one Chad Murray, the lead singer of Bird and Limbs, the band I play guitar in, of course. Chad has asked a very interesting question. He has asked, any plans to look at other aspects of weird music? Weird live shows, weird music videos, weird album artwork, weird remix albums, video game soundtracks, etc. And you know what, to be fair, kind of, right? I always, I feel like the sort of format of the show is generally just albums, like an actual album of sort, if that makes sense. And I feel like if music videos come into it, then yeah, we'll talk about them there. Weird live shows, if I'm not too sure, maybe if I was reviewing a live album perhaps. In terms of artwork, I should always be talking about the artwork, but I always just forget to do so. But weird remix albums would come under the same banner, I feel. I do have some plans to look at certain video game soundtracks, to be fair, actually, and also film soundtracks as well. Like, there's actually a particular film soundtrack I want to be doing a big dive into, but it would also mean reviewing the film itself. for reasons that would make sense if we do get around to it, of course. And this one's going to be a very difficult one to do, but there is plans to do so. So I'd say the answer to this question is sort of, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Take from that what you will, though, of course. And so, yeah, I think that has covered all the questions that I've been asked them for this video. So yeah, thank you very much for asking all these weird, peculiar little questions, you know, like, I just wanted to do something to sort of celebrate the fact that it's been an entire year of weird music, you know. I have thoroughly enjoyed making this series, and I'm genuinely excited to see what this next year is going to come. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen to this series, this channel and stuff, but like, you know, I'm just like, it's just fun to talk about a different album every week, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to more stuff, basically, and more weird stuff I've been listening to. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I really want to show you guys, because it is so baffling and so balmy. But yeah, we will get round to it at some point this year. So, with that, I would like to thank you for watching this special Q&A 1-year anniversary episode of Weird Music. Yep, that's the end of it, this unscripted episode, like, very weird and balmy and stuff. You can probably see why I tend to write scripts for these things. I'm not very good at just talking, but whatever. Yeah, I would like to thank you for watching this episode today. I wish you all the best, take care, and bye-bye for now, of course. Bye-bye.